Hey, can I give you an interesting way to think about EQ? Many of you have not ever worked on a big console, but these are exactly the same as what you've got in the box. So most consoles, they lay it out, and most channel strip plugins are going to lay this out with 4 bands: low, low mid, highs. And I want to give you some language, some ways to think about how to use these. So when I'm working on an EQ, I need to figure out what to do with each of these 4 and what parts of the sound these can affect really well. And that will give me a lot of control and power over the sound. So the fundamental, that's a sort of technical term, but it basically is just the lowest note. So what I'm going to do is boost the low. I'm going to set the frequency as low as I can, boost it until I know that I'll be able to hear it, and then I'll sweep this up until that starts to have an impact on the sound. That's going to tell me where that low note is. But be careful with stuff like a bass guitar or a vocal or anything that moves around. This may be the lowest note, but their high note may actually be up here. So if you're working on a vocal or something like that, make sure that this fundamental boost is having an impact on the highest note that they're going to perform. Then put the gain back to 0. We're doing research here to find the range of each of these frequencies, and then we will decide what to do with the gain, which is the change we're actually making. Resonance, I'm going to start at the very bottom again. I'm going to boost, and I'm going to sweep up until it gets into a resonant area. Another way to think of this is like the chest, the bottom lowest resonance. Then you get to the throat, which is going to sort of be like a closed vowel, like ooh or all. Those frequencies tend to live in this low mid range between maybe 200 and 1,000, depending on the instrument. Generally, maybe more like 300 to 800. And so, depending on the range and octave of the instrument, I'll sweep this up until I feel like I'm getting that really kind of pinched resonance, this ooh closed vowel thing. Then I'll put the gain back to 0. I'm not going to touch the width, the Q, they just stay right where they are. Then character, I'm going to find whatever I've decided, let's call that, 600. I'm going to set this to that, boost until that should be doing the same thing that this was. And then I'm going to sweep up until that ooh gets up into the mouth, the more ah, open mouth, ah, e, those sorts of sounds. This character is what we're going to be really trying to pull the listener into. It's going to be the sort of forward edge of that sound. So oftentimes this is somewhere between 900 and 3K, 3K being very, very high on like a flute or something, but more often somewhere between maybe 1K and 2,500. So we'll find that spot, then again, put the gain back to 0. And then on the air, or if we're thinking in terms of like a voice, the breath, I'll go all the way up, boost this gain, and then sweep down until I start to get into the bitey character of that voice. That's where the overlap of the vocal cords and the whisper in the voice are, if you're on an actual voice, or if you're on another instrument, maybe an acoustic guitar, you'll start to get into like, 7K, 6K, some bitey, harsh frequencies, and I don't really want to mess with that. So I'll bring this up, or bring this as low as I can to get as control of a wide area, and then put the gain back. Then go back and take it out of solo, listen to the song, see what the thing needs. And very often it'll be after you've heard that, you'll be like, oh yeah, it feels a little tubby. So I might remove some resonance, bring up some character. That's going to make the vocal stand up straight. It's not going to be living in the bottom half of the mix. It's going to be living across the whole mix. Think of 1K as eye level. Everything above 1K is up, everything below is down. And so this character is going to be lifting, and air going to be bringing forward the top of the track. Resonance and fundamental will be controlling the bottom of it. If I want a big sound, boost the bottom and top. If I want a really focused sound, bring in that resonance, nice warm sound, maybe ditch the character a little bit. So play with it, see if that helps. Have fun.